Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of death. Amen. Angel of God, you will pray the guardian. Angel of God, the guardian teacher, you will God's love and trust and fear. And ever this day be at my side, light and heart, room to die. Amen.
So good evening, everyone. Life good?
Every day.
Every day is good. Okay. Yes.
Already in trouble. Francis never answered the duty. Francis never answered. You did already?
Okay, so basically, Sonia is asking about the 4 cardinals. Basically, one has passed. Okay. So they wrote to Pope Francis. It's about Amoris Laetitia, that document about marriage, which came out. And so there's a chapter 8, which is not clear. Okay, that so they were asking the Pope to clarify, basically marriage and basically communion and things like that. So they wrote to him to clarify why, because different bishops around the world are looking at the same document but interpreting it differently. But not only that they are interpreting it differently, but their interpretations are diametrically opposed. That is the key thing. Okay? So one conference is saying that, or some bishops in their dioceses are saying that, well, the divorced and remarried can receive communion, again, depending on what they do with their pastors and things like that. Well, as Jesus Christ has said, that what God has joined, no man must separate. If you marry a divorced woman, or a woman who was married before, you commit adultery. If you marry someone's husband, you commit adultery. Because that's what the church says. If you're divorced and remarried, basically you're either marrying someone else's husband or you're committing adultery or whatever, fornication. So you are not in communion of truth with the church. So you can't receive that in truth communion. And so the key thing here is that these interpretations are opposed. And so if one bishop says it's okay, another bishop says it's not okay, the Pope has the obligation to come out and say, this is what I am teaching. Okay? This is what I am teaching. And so it is it has become somehow, a serious problem for no good reason, because the teaching of the church from the very beginning is very clear. Okay? So, and in our day and age, where there is so much confusion, we don't need to usher in more confusion. We need to be as clear as night and day. In our day and age, clarity is needed in every teaching. And the church has been, like that. So if your teaching is misunderstood as Pope, you have the obligation to come out and clarify. So he hasn't come out to clarify on that. So one of the cardinals died. Okay? And Maria pulled out Pope Benedict's letter to Germany at the funeral of that cardinal.
That was very good.
Okay? So I'll read you a statement there, what Pope Benedict said. Okay?
And which cardinal?
Oh, the cardinal who passed away.
Marsner, M-E-I-S-N-E-R.
Manas, did you hear the name?
Did you get that, Maria?
What is it, I'm sorry?
It's Cardinal, and I believe it's M-E-I-S-N-E-R. You can also put in Pope Benedict in the
You
Emeritus.
said M-E-I?
M-E-I-N-E-R. M-E-I-N-E-R. I'm sorry.
Yes. So basically that gives you a picture of where the church is now. We don't need this confusion. Okay? We need clarity. And now there is also, but let's first deal with this. Did it come out?
Emeritus Pope Benedict say that our Catholic Church is like a sinking ship? Capsizing ship.
Yes.
Did you get it, Marie?
You can put in Pope Benedict.
Pope Benedict is basically
16th,
funeral
15th, 16th.
later. Funeral later. It'll come. Pope Benedict's funeral later. So this is something very serious. Why? Because with you have it. Okay. Yes. Yes, this is the one. Okay. So listen, I'm just going to read No, this is a commentary. Oh, no. It's coming. The letter's down. Okay. So listen, I'm just going to read one sentence. Let's read the whole paragraph. Okay? This is a letter he wrote, okay? Because one of the four cardinals who wrote to Pope Francis asking him to clarify, because of these diametrically opposed interpretations, one has to be the right interpretation, the other a misinterpretation. Both can't be right if they are contradictory. Okay? So that's very logical, it's simple to see. So, at the funeral of one of those four cardinals who passed, Pope Francis writes this. This is a paragraph within the letter. What particularly impressed me from my last conversation with the now past cardinal was the relaxed cheerfulness, the inner joy, and the confidence at which he had arrived. We know that this passionate shepherd and the pastor found it difficult to leave his post, especially at a time in which the church stands in particularly pressing need of convincing shepherds who can resist the dictatorship of the spirit of the age and who live and think the faith with determination. Okay? Who live and think the faith with determination. Now listen to this sentence. However, what moved me all the more was that in this last period of his life, he learned to let go and to live out a deep conviction that the Lord does not abandon his church, even if the boat has taken on so much water as to be on the verge of collapsing. Okay. So you see, this is one of the four cardinals who wrote, he is past, and I think the Pope says he talked to him the previous day before he passed. Now listen to this sentence. However, what moved me all the more was that in this last period of his life, he learned to let go and to live out of a deep conviction that the Lord does not abandon his church, even if the boat has taken on so much water as to be on the verge of collapse. You don't need to read between lines to see what the Pope is actually saying there. Okay, so that's why we have to really know who we are. Because as you know, in every culture they tell you that if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know who you are, and therefore you can't know where you're going. So we have to know who we are as Catholics. Because this confusion, it comes about because we forget who we are. So who are we? How many of you here are Catholic? Sylvia, are you Catholic? Okay, all of you told me you're Catholic, right? What does that mean?
All of Mother Church teaches.
What does this mean? Okay, so thank you for asking that, because this leads us back to the fundamentals of who we are. Okay? What is Catholic? What does it mean to be Catholic? Catholic means
Universal, right?
Then basically, the church embraces the whole world, all of humanity, all nations, okay?
Yeah.
The church embraces okay, it's universal worldwide, okay? Okay, so that is basically the meaning of Catholic. Okay, it is universal. Okay, that's the mandate Jesus gave to the apostles. Go and teach all nations. Okay, so the universality of the embrace of the faith is what we mean by Catholic. Number two, what do we mean by Catholic? This is very important to know who we are. These are basically the fathers of the church. They're telling us who we are, what the church means. Number two, what does it mean to be Catholic? What does it mean? Catholic, what does it mean? To embrace of truth, the truth taught by Christ and His church. So when one says I'm Catholic, that's what it means, that you embrace the totality of truth. So, the truth. The number three, what does it mean to be Catholic? To embrace again to this subject. Subject to the same obedience, okay, by all sorts, okay. Sorts we can mean by all works of people, man, woman, poor, rich, you name it. We are all subject to the same obedience, not a different obedience. Why? Because we embrace the same truth. And therefore, we give the same obedience to that same truth. Always remember that the truth is a person of Jesus Christ. Okay? So same obedience. That is so key. So if you say you are Catholic, there is no Catholic who lives by a different rule of life other than obedience. So that's why these different groups, like they want us to think that there could be different rules, Christian rules for gays, for whatever, or different. No. There are different rules for adulterers, No. Okay. It is the same rule of life. We are all struggling to live by His truth. It's not simple. But it can't be relaxed for me, okay, or for you for some reason. Divorced and remarried, we should find a way of, giving them communion. Communion of what? If we are not living under the same obedience. You can't create some rule of faith or obedience or lack of it for the divorced and remarried. You just can't. Because we are all subject to the same obedience. That's the meaning of Catholic. Okay? So we struggle to live the truth, but it is one act of obedience. There are no different aspects of obedience which contradict one another. Okay? So, by the mere fact that there is a teaching now, and people are interpreting it differently, and the different interpretations are contradictory, somebody is not being obedient to the one truth. Otherwise, it wouldn't be contradictory. So we are Catholic. Why? Because the Catholic Church, okay, the church, what do you mean by the Catholic Church, okay, approves, basically heals, to heal all sin, all sins, all sins. So Susan, there is no sin you can commit or vice you can have that the church cannot approve or destroy.
Thanks for answering that.
Okay? There is no sin I can commit, there is no vice I can acquire that the church cannot uproot and destroy. Meaning Christ Himself. truth himself. So that's what we mean by Catholic. Okay. So there can't be that some sins are exempted from God's mercy, except the sins who refuse to repent. Okay? But see, all sin is uprooted. So if all sin is uprooted, what we mean by Catholic also is that it plants all virtues, all goodness. There is no goodness that the church does not possess. Because holiness himself is the church, the head of the church. So there's nothing in the body of Jesus Christ that Christ cannot heal. And there is no divine gift that Christ cannot give to his body. So when we say Catholic, this is what we mean. Okay? So this is who we are. And then, because when we say Catholic, we say Catholic Church. So these questions lead us into so many things. Okay? We say Catholic Church. We don't simply say Catholic. We say Catholic Church. What is church? Again, you see some churches, we have even some here in the valley, who won't call themselves Catholic Church. They call themselves Catholic Community. You've seen that, Catholic Community. Why do they hate? What's the problem with calling yourself a church? Kahal from the Old Testament, or Ekal, Ekal. It is very specific. Okay? It is it's not just a community. Anything can be a community. Like in Las Vegas, you have villages. They are communities. Okay? But nobody has called them out for a mission. So church means an assembly of those called out. And it comes from basically the Old Testament. When Moses built a tent, and God, basically by God's instructions, again, this is the issue of obedience. When you read Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapters 35 through 40, you will see the detail that goes into building the sanctuary, the place of worship. Because these are divine gifts given to us, so it's a replica of the heavenly sanctuary. So God tells you the how. He gives you the instructions. And He chooses where, when, and how to dwell. So that unlike the pagan gods who can be manipulated, okay, you build a shrine for a god, then you start manipulating a god, you can't manipulate Yahweh. That's why He chooses where to dwell. He tells you how to construct His dwelling, and He chooses when He's coming to dwell there. So when He went there, Moses would go in, and all the people, when Moses went in, they were supposed to assemble at the entrance. That's the meaning of church. Assemble. They have been called out to assemble. They have been called out. When you assemble, you worship. That's the key. That's the purpose of the assembly. Okay? So you worship. So this is who we are as church. We've been called out by someone. We don't call ourselves. So that's why we've been called out by what? Or by who? By truth. I think that is the essence of our calling. That's who we are as church. So we are not simply a community or whatever. No, it is an assembly of those called out. Because when we are called out, we are called to come to Christ and draw life and everything from Him. And then we ourselves becomes calling out. So we are called out to call out. So go and teach your nations, you are the light of the world. That's the meaning of church. And so you can't be called out to feed on truth and then sent out to teach error or confusion. Okay? So truth is calling you to union with Himself so that you are sent out to proclaim Him. We don't proclaim ourselves. we proclaim Him. So this idea of pride, I've come up with something which, whenever, guard against this. Whenever a person thinks that they can be more compassionate than God, then you know that you are becoming demonic. That you can be more loving than God, then you are becoming demonic. Because what you are embracing as compassion or love is not compassion, it's not love. None of us can be more compassionate than God. You see, in Ireland, they did certain things, and so the bishop said, well, I think we need to wrap the truth in a new way, so that people may, what they used, it can be agreeable to the people. None of us, believe me, can wrap truth, can present truth, can proclaim truth better than the truth himself. So when Jesus Christ came and proclaimed the truth, some people believed, some others didn't. That's the reason he was crucified. Those resisted that truth. So for me to think, or for you to think, that we can teach truth in such a way that it will be agreeable to everyone, we have to be stupid to believe that. If God himself taught and it wasn't agreeable to everyone, who am I to think that I can teach in such a way that everybody will agree? Am I greater than God? So this idea of fearing to present truth because we want to be compassionate, want to be understanding, okay? To speak the truth in charity or with charity, charitably, means to present the truth as it was given to us. Okay? So that leads us into the third aspect of this. Okay? So this is clear. This is what Catholic is. Speaking the truth in charity doesn't mean to obscure truth, okay? To mutilate truth, to present it in a timid way. Oh, as you know, we are good people, but there are sins in this world. You are good people and they are sin. We are sinners. Okay? So, it's always very important to understand what we do as church. That's what we are doing in this, courses like this class. It's called catechesis. What is catechesis? It is the basically gospel. By gospel we mean truth, okay? The transmission of truth, the gospel. How? This is again. Number one, as the church has received it. Not as we think we should twist it. Not as we think it should be presented to society. As the church has received it. That's the way we transmit it. Not in any other way. St. Paul in the first century, a few years after the death of Jesus, says in 1 Corinthians, I hand on to you what I myself received. It's not my concoction. I received it from the Lord, from my Master, from your God. And this is what I transmit to you, as I received it. Okay? Number two, as the church now this is very important, as the church understands it. Not, well, this is how I understand it. If my understanding contradicts the way the church understands what she has received, I am wrong. Period. It's that simple. St. Thomas makes a distinction. I can't remember very well what is fides qua, okay, but it's like this. The fides, I think, fides qua, okay, qua, fides qua, is the objective content of the deposit of faith, truth. Okay. So, if I believe what is this color? Brown. Okay, let's say brown. This color, brown. Okay? No. I believe this is green. That's what I believe. Does that change the reality of this being brown? No. Okay. It's brown regardless of whether I believe it's brown. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. So basically, my believing or not believing truth doesn't make truth to be or not be. It is what it is regardless of my believing it. So that's what we call the objective content of the faith. Then there's what we then refer to as fides qua, which is the subjective appropriation of the objective content of the faith. Meaning that I believe what the church believes, and because I believe, now I appropriate in my person personally what the church believes. Such that what the church believes objectively is not different from what I personally appropriate and believe, because it's one and the same thing. What the church believes is what I appropriate, okay, taking as an individual to believe as the church believes. So if my subjective doesn't mean less in this sense, it means personal, okay, a personal appropriation of the objective content of the faith. So if my personal beliefs are different from the objective content and the understanding of that truth, then I'm wrong. There is no gray area. It is either truth or not truth. Okay? It's very clear. The book of Revelation makes that clear to the church of Sardis. Okay? I think it's chapter 2. Let's just read that. Book of Revelation. Church of what? No, I think it's not the church of Sardis. It's the church of whatever. It's called the church of I think it's Sardis, yes. Okay. Let's look at it there. It's the church of Laodicea. Okay, so here so listen to what the Spirit says to the churches. Okay, the verse says that you're neither hot or cold, so I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. Okay, it's the church of Laodicea. Okay, that is chapter 3, verse. Let's begin with verse 14. Chapter 3, Revelation, chapter 3, verse 14. To the angel of the church in Laodicea, write this: the Amen. What is Amen?
I believe.
Yes, it's true, I believe. Yes, so truly. Amen means truly, truth, okay? The Amen, let's go, the truth, okay? The Amen, the faithful and the true witness, the source of God's creation says this: I know your works. I know that you are neither cold nor hot. So you can't, I'm not cold but I'm not hot. No, you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either cold or hot. So, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. So there cannot be any gray area in truth. You either belong to truth or you don't. Okay? So, this is what as the church understands it. Okay? Number 3, as the church celebrates it in our liturgies, in the sacraments. Okay? What we have received, the way we understand it, is the way we celebrate it. Okay? The liturgy is the actual celebration, the living, the imbibing in our lives of the truth. Number 4, as the church lives it. We can't live anything different from what we have received as truth. That's where the church emphasizes faith and morals go together. You can't separate faith from morals. You hear some people say, oh, for pastoral reasons, okay? Pastoral means in a pastor, okay? Pastor, is a shepherd, okay? For shepherding reasons, practice and a doctrine may be different. So that's why you hear someone like I said, well, for pastoral reasons, someone basically living with someone else's wife, okay, can be in union, full union with truth. For pastoral reasons. As if Christ the teacher, as Cardinal Mueller puts it, Christ the teacher and Christ the shepherd are two different people. Two different persons. Christ the teacher is Jesus Christ the shepherd. And so the teacher is teaching us what the rich pastures are, truth. And so when he shepherds us, he feeds us on those very same pastures, namely truth. So if you are a shepherd and a priest, and you tell people for pastoral reasons, I can bend, twist, or even disobey the truth, then you are a false prophet. Instead of feeding people as Christ feeds them on the rich pastures of truth, which is medicine for sin, which brings about healing, you are feeding people on poisonous pastures, namely falsehood. And under the guise of being compassionate and understanding, you are killing them. That's how compassionate you are. You want poison? Okay, I love you. You know? That's see, that's why what people perceive as compassion is not compassion at all. If you are leading me away from the truth. If you're feeding me on poison, disguised as medication. Okay, so you see what we are dealing with here. Okay? And of course, number 5, as the church teaches or proclaims it, okay, or communicates it. In these different ways, okay? Different ways, works of charity, prayer, sacrifice, Catholic education, you name it. All those things are ways of transmitting or communicating the faith. So there cannot be, this is who we are, okay? We are Catholic, we are a Catholic church, we are assembled and called out, and we're not part-time disciples, we're not a part-time assembly. We have been called out for God's use. Okay? So we are an ongoing assembly. Because this assembly is we are parts of the mystical body of Jesus Christ. So we are not a member of the body like a handicap and say, well, today I will be useful to you, but tomorrow I have business to do. So tomorrow I won't function. I'll be elsewhere. It can happen. Okay? It can happen. So we are full-time. And so we cannot enter in and out of truth at will. We either live the truth or we don't live it. And when I come out of truth, that's what I call sin. What do? I repent and go back into truth. But I can't justify my sinfulness as the right course of action and the way to go. Because it leads to death. And that's not where I want to go. So resisting church teaching is not simply resisting church teaching per se. We are resisting Christ himself. Whoever obeys you obeys me. Whoever obeys me obeys the one who sent me. Whoever disobeys you disobeys me, and whoever disobeys me disobeys the one who sent me. But then the irony is, if those who are meant to be obeyed are the ones who are being disobedient, where are we going to go?
This is true, Father.
Yes, yes.
I went to confession at Catholic parish, and the review of your conscience is in the catechism. And I go over that before confession, receive the sacrament, reconciliation. And the priest told me that the two things that I mentioned were not sins. And so when he absolved me, he said, I don't know if I should absolve you or not, because those aren't sins. I said, Father, it's in the catechism.
That it is a sin.
So, am I...
First of all, the priest doesn't confess people's sins. People confess their sins to a priest. Okay, so...
Did I need to go to confession again to another priest?
If your conscience purely you read, you know your faith, and you know that these were sins, yes.
I went the next Tuesday.
But you should have told him, Father, this is me speaking to you. I committed this sin.
I said, Father, it's from the catechism. And he said, you're using your two scruples. And I said, it came right out of the catechism. You can read the 12 pages, whatever it is.
Now, if it is a sin, it's a sin. If it's not a sin, it's not a sin. Yes. Now, there's also the other side of that is we call it misplaced guilt sometimes again. When a person feels guilty, but really the guilt is misplaced because there is no. See, for example, if a woman is raped, and then she comes to confession and says, I committed fornication. There's no sin. But someone may feel that maybe I committed a sin, something that's not sinful. But if it's a sin, it's a sin.
It was sin.
Yes. So this is who we are. So we have to be mindful of who we are. So we receive truth through evangelization, we get to know the gospel, and then we grow into it all through our lives. This is ongoing catechesis. There's no point in our life when we say, I know enough. Or I have basically taken in enough. I don't want any more. It's an overdose. No. We keep growing into this, and this is what the church does. This is the apostolate of the church. So this is who we are. So once we know who we are, this confusion can be, it can take us away. And it can't really be there. Because as you said, if I know who I am, and I'm being what I'm not supposed to be, namely sin, I know it. Otherwise, if I don't know who I am, I wouldn't even know what goodness or sin is, then I won't even know the difference. But I know the difference because I know who I am. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I stand, and I know where I'm going. So it doesn't mean that someone who has these things clear in their minds are not sinners. That's why they are able to recognize their sinfulness, because they know who they are. They know where they should be, and they are not there. So I confess my sins. I ask for more strength, for more wisdom, more understanding. But I cannot justify my lack of understanding as understanding, my lack of wisdom as wisdom. That's who the devil is. That's what the devil does. And I don't want to become a child of the devil. I'm a child of God. Okay? So, that's why I always tell you that this idea of a priest told me, it's not tenable anymore. We have the wealth of our faith, we have the Bible, the scriptures. This is good. And nobody should ever tell you that this is not the faith of the church. One time a priest was confronted a catechist about what this catechist told confirmation kids, which was from here. And the priest told him When he said, well, I get it from the catechism, that's what I explained to the kids. Don't read it from that book again. So what do you want me to do? This is what catechesis is. So what do you want me to do? Okay, these are confirmation students. I can't teach them. In other words, I can't catechize them. So why are they here? Why do you have a confirmation program, Pastor? What are you feeding these children on? If you're not feeding them on the rich pastures of truth. Or they'll tell you, oh, this is just a resource. Okay? So if you know the mind, if you want to understand the mind of a document, what basically the document is intended for, you look at the one who promulgated it, what he says about it. So the chair of Peter gave us this book. Okay? And this is what Peter says. Okay? This is what Peter says. Okay? This is Pope John Paul II. Okay? But listen to the language he uses. Because he is Peter, is the chair of Peter. What does the chair of Peter do? What is its purpose? Remember the chair of Peter, okay? Remember the name Peter. Petros, okay? It means rock. What is the purpose of the rock? Simeon ben Yonah is now Kephas, or Kepha, rock, even. The function, if you build a structure in a rock, okay, the structure is one. So this is what the chair of Peter does. It is the chair of unity, of strength and stability. That's what it is. So the boat must be stable, not sinking, not capsizing. Okay? That's who the chair of Peter is. Strength, stability, unity. Usually unity comes first. Unity, strength, stability. That's the function of the chair of Peter. That's the rock foundation. If you build a structure on a rock, this is what it is. It's strong, it's stable, it's one. One side can't go down because it's on a rock. Okay? It's united. Okay? So, the chair of Peter tells us this. Because the Pope writes a document before he passes out this document. So this is Pope John Paul II. So nobody should ever lie to you, okay, that this is simply a resource or whatever. This is called the Apostolic Constitution Fidei Depositum, the deposit of faith. Okay, this is Fidei Depositum, the deposit of faith. And this is what Peter says in Pope John Paul II. The catechism of the Catholic Church, which I approve June 25th last, and the publication of which I today order by virtue of my apostolic authority. This is not like I'm on a plane or giving an interview, no. By virtue of my apostolic authority, referring to the chair of Peter, okay, the vicar of Christ, by virtue of my apostolic authority, okay, so the catechism which I approve June 25th, and the publication of which I today order by virtue of my apostolic authority, is a statement of the Church's faith and of Catholic doctrine, attested to, all illumined by sacred scripture, the apostolic tradition, and the Church's magisterium. I declare it to be, it's not I suggest it to be, I declare it to be a sure norm. Okay? It's a sure norm, measure, standard, a sure norm for teaching the faith, and thus a valid and legitimate instrument for ecclesial communion. A sure norm for teaching the faith. Don't read it from this book again. So these students are here to be taught the faith, but I can't teach them the faith because Father says so. So what am I going to teach them? If you come to church, as we said, you are called out and you are assembled in catechism to do what? If you can't catechize. There's a priest in some seminary, he teaches homiletics. He tells seminarians, when you preach, don't teach. Please don't teach. That's why I always tell people, don't be ideological. Because when we give in to an ideology, we become foolish. So he gave in probably to some ideology, whatever he doesn't even understand it. The church teaches us that a homily or a sermon, usually a homily is, where something continuous. Like for example, if the parish is small, you have one priest, he celebrates 2 or 3 masses. So from one Sunday to the next, he can have continuation. Like these past Sundays, we had Matthew chapter 13, the parables of the kingdom. So if you're celebrating the mass, you can begin from where you stopped. Okay? So those are called homilies. But if it's not that, it's a sermon. But one and the same thing. So a homily, church teachers must be. So this is a priest teaching in seminary. Oh boy. The church teaches us a homily must be theological. It must be catechetical. We look at what the meaning of catechesis means. It must be. The word doctrine itself, docere, means but a homiletics teacher, a priest is telling, don't do this when you preach. So what do you want me to do? When Jesus sent out the apostles, he told them, go and teach all nations. That's your mandate. And then someone is telling, these would be people going out to bring you, don't teach. So that's the confusion we are experiencing today. So we have to be on guard. Okay? That's why to avoid that confusion, okay, we have to know. We have no choice. We have to know our faith.
Can you explain each of those?
Theological,
Sorry.
basically theology is a disciplined, this is why this happens. It is very wide. Theology is a discipline, okay? Faith is not a tradition here is sacred tradition with a capital T. These two are called the fullness of divine revelation. Okay? So, divine revelation, tradition, well, the scripture tradition, you approach it with faith, okay, reason,